Congratulations, your offer is now accepted. And now what? I mean, a lot of buyers would think that the hard part is now over, but really and truly, that's when everything is about to start. Hey guys, this is Lyne, your real estate agent in New Jersey, and today we're going to go over the home buying process from A to Z in the state of New Jersey. Something that is very different compared to other states in America is that in here, when your offer is accepted, you now enter a very specific phase called the attorney review period. And it's typically 3 business days. And during that time, it's actually the most stressful part. I've done a video on attorney review, but just to talk about it a little bit more briefly in here, it could be the most stressful part because during these 3 days, the buyer or the seller can both change their mind. So this is the time where the buyer's attorney and the seller's attorney are both going through all of the contract, not to make changes, but to make sure that everything looks good. But during that time, it is not a binding contract. So you can wake up the next day as a seller and be like, well, actually, I don't want to sell my house anymore, or there's a better offer and I'd rather go for that one. Or as a buyer, you know what? I don't want to buy this house anymore. I think it doesn't fit us anymore. As simple as that. You're not going to be questioned on your reasoning. You change your mind. That's it. And you are legally able to come out of that contract with no strings attached. So in this period, both attorneys are going to review things like inspection contingencies, mortgage contingencies, closing dates, any items that could be included in the contract, anything that buyer and seller agreed upon the offer. Everything is going to be reviewed by the attorney. Now, when both parties are happy with everything and both attorneys have agreed on all of the terms of the contract, now the attorney review period is over and you now are in a binding contract. So now you cannot come out for no reason. Now the deposit is due. The first deposit is due, typically 2 to 5% from the price of the home, which is going to be held in the third party account and is going towards your down payment later on. Next, we have the home inspection. Now is the time to order. Straight after the attorney review period is done, it's time to order your inspection. I've done a full separate video on inspection for you to understand, because you may be thinking, well, now I cannot change my mind. I'm in a binding contract. What if there's something that comes out in the inspection and I don't want to go ahead with that house? Totally understandable, but do not worry. Everything comes from the conditions that you put in the offer initially. I'm also going over what type of inspection is advised depending on your goals, your strategies. So make sure you check that video for more information on that topic. Now, after the inspection is done, you're going to receive a report from the inspector. This is something that you're going to review with your buying agent and your attorney. If there's anything that came out from the inspection, any big repairs, any major issues, then this is something that your attorney is going to talk about with the seller's attorney. And now, because there's things that came up, there's a couple options that are possible. Maybe the seller is actually going to fix everything for you. Or if he doesn't want to, he may give you some money back at closing for you to do the repairs yourself. Or if that is not an option either, you may be reconsidering the offer that was put at the beginning. Maybe let's lower the price of the home just because so many things came up, as an example. So all of this is going to be discussed between both attorneys, yourself, and your buying agent. So once everything is agreed, we make some changes on the initial contract that was reviewed in the attorney review period. We come back to it, we make all of the changes, all of the new agreements that we have, and then we send it again. Everybody signs it again. Now it's the time to order your appraisal. So if you're working with a mortgage lender, he may be the one ordering the appraisal. And this is something that is very important because it's going to give them reassurance that whatever they're lending you to buy the house is actually the accurate amount based on the value of the home according to the township. So an appraiser is going to come to the house and check everything and give an estimate value of the house. There's 3 options. Or it's going to be above whatever you're paying, the value, or it's going to be approximately the same price as whatever you're paying, or it's going to be lower. And in this case, if it's lower, you may need to renegotiate the price with the seller. If you're overpaying crazy, the lender is not going to be happy and you're not going to be happy either. So appraisal is important in that sense. During that time, there's also a title search that is going to be done, that you're going to order. Why is this important? Because, for example, if the seller, the owner of the house that you're about to buy, have liens or judgments, you want to be aware of that. For example, I sold a home recently and the title search came out that there was a couple liens and debts over the house. Okay, so obviously as a buyer, you do not want to buy a house with the debts of the seller, because once the house becomes yours, the debts become yours as well. You do not want that. So the title search is to make sure that whenever you buy the house, everything is clear for you to go and start fresh, brand new. You don't want no baggage from the previous owner. So initially, the title search came that there was some debt and some lien over the house. However, it was able to be cleared because the debts and the lien was over the seller's name and not the house. So if it's attached to the seller, the individual, you are fine, because the debts, no matter where they go, is always attached to them. Now, if the debt was attached to their property, then as you're taking the property, it becomes yours. If there's unpaid property taxes, all of these things, you want to make sure that the title company is going to clear everything before you go ahead. Even the lender is not going to go ahead. Nobody's going to go ahead with the process if the house is not clear. So we were fine. It was cleared. It was attached to the seller, and it gave definitely peace of mind to the buyer and to myself as well. So now, after everything that I've said is done, the inspection, the appraisal, the title search, everything is done. Now your lender has to send us the mortgage commitment, and they should come to us a couple days before closing. And it's basically saying that, yes, as a lender, I am giving you the last confirmation that I am going to be financing your home. Without that commitment and that clear to close, we cannot close on the house. We need your lender to be saying, yes, indeed, I am going to be the one financing your home. Now we received the clear to close message from your lender. Depending on the day of your closing, we're going to have a final walkthrough, which typically happens on the same day of closing for myself, but it can happen the day before. We just go in the house all together and we make sure that the way we seen it initially is still the same state. There's nothing that happened in between. It's still in the same condition. So now we're happy. We go to the closing table. You're going to sign all of the documents, sign the ownership documents, sign the loan documents. We receive the final confirmation that the deed and the mortgage will be recorded. Once everything is done, then that's it. I give you the keys. So you see, from the moment that your offer was accepted, now the real deal started. And that's the thing. People would ask, so when am I really secure with my house? You're only really secure with your house, I would say, at the closing table. Honestly, because as we've seen, things can happen at inspection. Things can happen at the title search, and it's so messy that you don't want the house anymore. Things can happen with the appraisal. Things can happen with your mortgage commitment that is not arriving, or they actually don't want to finance your home based on different circumstances. So many things can happen that could make the deal go wrong. But, we keep faith in God through the whole process. And I'm here to actually pray. I'm a praying woman. So through the whole process, I'll be in prayer that everything goes as according to the will of God. And that's it. That's pretty much it. I hope this gives you a clear understanding of how the home buying process works in New Jersey. As I mentioned, is not the same everywhere. And if you have any question, don't hesitate to contact me. If you're looking to buy or sell a home in New Jersey, get in touch as well. I'd love to discuss your goals and teach you everything that you need to know in this market, a very competitive market today, in order for you to win. If you like this video, comment, subscribe, send it to somebody that doesn't even know what does the home buying process look like. And I hope you have a great day. See ya.